In the fall of 2024, we paddled the Bloodvein River, which starts in western Ontario and flows into Lake Winnipeg in Manitoba. Because of the wilderness being hard to access, paddling the entire river requires expensive logistics. In order to not have to deal with those logistics, we cut out the Ontario portion, which consists mostly of lake travel, by starting our descent on the Bloodvein at Artery Lake. Artery is a popular starting location for people to fly into on float planes, but because of the price, we chose to take the hard way in by starting at Wallace Lake. From Wallace Lake, we traveled north across the challenging Abuckwin portages, taking us eventually into Artery, where we began our downstream travel on the Bloodvein River. So, this is the start of our trip down the Bloodvein River. We just arrived here at Wallace Lake, and we've got all of our gear kind of situated in the boat. We're not going to be portaging to start off with today since it's 4:50 already. So we're gonna just paddle onto the first campsite we get. And so we've just got things set up in the boat, but we're feeling excited. Shuttle driver just took off. Yeah, Haley, how you feeling?
Feeling good.
Woo! Yeah, and we're off. So we think this is the trail going into Side Rock. It's just kind of a little tiny trail going through some wild rice here. Haley is obsessed with the flowers.
I'm not obsessed. There's more pink ones. I'm not obsessed. Now I'm for sure the passenger princess.
So yeah, we're getting on to Side Rock Lake. This is good news. We're probably gonna camp here tonight. Our first glimpse of Side Rock Lake. The portage is over somewhere ahead of us. We're told there's a campsite nearby that portage, so we're probably gonna head in that direction. See what that looks like. All right, we were able to go ahead and find the start to the first portage. We don't think we're gonna take it right now.
But the flowers.
There are flowers right there. That's kind of We'll check out the start and then move on. We think we see a rock campsite kind of behind us.
GoPro.
And so we'll go take a look at that. All right, we worked our way up Side Rock a little bit to find this campsite. We got our first portage right over there. We got our firebox here. So we're gonna start getting unloaded and get dinner on its way and get camp set up. It's been kind of a quick rush to get things taken care of before the sunset. But Haley just finished setting up the tent. And food is almost ready. I'm working on that over here outside of the wind. So dinner tonight is gonna be mac and cheese. I had a good night last night. I think we both slept pretty good. We've got the Three Mothers portages, or the Abuckwin 3 or the Abuckwin portages right off the start here combined. It's about 3 miles of portaging that we're gonna take on first thing this morning. We kind of been up and at 'em trying to get all of our stuff put together, and on the way we're gonna have a nice hot oatmeal breakfast, and then we'll be off to the portage, which is just over there on the other side of the lake. So we'll be hitting that early on. This morning's breakfast, hot oatmeal. Woo!
Dude, who invited them? Oh my gosh. I'm fine, everything's fine.
The bugs are here this year. It's the first day of September. It's kind of chilly this morning, probably in the 50s. Expected to have less bugs, but they're out.
I think they all came out of the tent, to be honest.
All loaded up to head towards the Abuckwin portages. We're gonna say goodbye to our first campsite and onward to what's gonna be probably a long day. This is the start of the Abuckwin portage. Woo! All right. About a mile and a half. Gonna be a good one. Yeah, pretty mushrooms.
Ooh! I don't think I've ever seen a mushroom that has looked so much like a mushroom.
Woo! More portage trail. We were working our way back on the portage, but we came up on some blueberries. So we're making a quick blueberry pit stop.
Oh. I knew we should have brought pancake mix. There he goes. Off into the woods.
We found some mud. This is a particularly pretty part of the trail. It's kind of opened up pretty flat, almost sandy-like. Lots of moss and caribou moss. And Haley's up ahead flying with the boat. It's a nice little section of trail here. We're coming in on the last stretch of the first portage of the Abuckwin series. And we've already got our boat and barrel to the end. Moving the rest of our packs. We're excited to be done with this one. Finishing this portage will put us at 1.5 miles of the 3 miles that we have to do today. So we'll be halfway done with portaging. We still got a lot of lakes to paddle today to get to our goal. Total, we'll be traveling about 18 miles, counting our double portaging. We'll actually be moving 12 miles from where we camped last night. Double portaging makes everything move a little bit slower, but there's just 2 of us and we've got all of our stuff for 2 weeks, so we've got a lot of gear to move. We made it to the end of the first portage. Woo! We're gonna put in, head up the lake, and probably grab a snack before we take on the next portage.
Agreed.
This has turned into kind of the chore to get out of the start or the end of this portage, fighting a current through kind of some wetland stuff. All right, we're almost there.
Yeah, we can see it.
Well, we finally made it onto First Lake. Our note said come into the northeast side of this bog. And he's pulling me up here. We can see a little bit of a trail running up.
It's like a trampoline.
Yeah, this is all just floating bog here, which is pretty cool. The second portage has a little bit of water on it that we're slogging through, but it's not too bad. Never much more than calf deep. This is the last leg of the second portage.
Last leg, literally.
It's pretty brutal as I fall. We can see the lake just through the trees. We're almost there. It's pretty tough going through this stuff. This is primarily a snowmobile trail in the winter. So that trail right there is fine in the winter when it's frozen. But paddlers kind of got to stick to the side of it. There it is. This is Kidney Lake. Woo! Hey.
Pitcher plants.
Got some pitcher plants here. We're gonna snack on some lunch before we take on the short paddle across Kidney Lake. Classic trail lunch. Summer sausage, cheese, and pita. Whew. So this is the start of our third portage trail. There's a cairn over there, kind of signifying where it starts. So we're gonna hit it and take off. We just finally made our turn into our bay. There's a little river that goes into or out of Abuckwin into Carroll. Not sure which direction we're heading on the watershed right now. Hut. We're about to approach that portage. Then we'll go a couple kilometers into Carroll and find a camp for tonight. A pretty big horizon line. Whoop. And there's a woodland caribou sign. Quick zucchini snack break. This is a lot of wild rice out here. Yep, we're paddling into Carroll Lake out of this little creek, and then we will be done with the Abuckwin portages and getting across the Abuckwin. We have about 4 kilometers to make it to our campsite. We are crossing Carroll Lake right now. About 5:30, we see our potential campsite up ahead. So we're excited to get to that. It's been a good day overall, but we are pretty tired. It's a nice little campsite. It is a beautiful evening here. We've pretty much got the lake to ourselves. One lone motorboat buzzed by earlier. There's a fishing cabin off that way, so he was probably heading back to that cabin, but otherwise it's just us out here. So super nice to have the place to ourselves. We're gonna pack up and go to bed early. We've got another long day tomorrow. Couple 1 mile plus portages, and then we'll be into the Bloodvein watershed and on Artery Lake. So that's the plan. Looks like we're gonna have another sunny day. We're working on getting camp broke down. We're gonna have some granola for breakfast and then be on our way. It's gonna be another long day. About 15 miles of traveling with 2-ish miles of portaging. So it's gonna be a big day. And then tonight we should be up on Artery Lake if all goes as planned. So hi. So we just left our campsite on Carroll Lake. We're gonna work our way up Carroll and up into Artery. Right now we're in the Bloodvein River watershed. So we're gonna need to hop watersheds to get over to the Bloodvein. A little sore from yesterday after those big portages, but we're moving on, and eventually the soreness will just settle in and we'll hit our rhythm, and the portages will get shorter. So that'll be easier once we are done kind of hopping watersheds and just kind of sticking to one moving down the river. We were just rounding the corner and saw a caribou. It was bedded down and we kind of startled it going around the corner, and it was on a point, so we backtracked a little bit to go back around the point, and sure enough he was hanging out on the other side of the point. We gave him some space and he was kind of gnawing down on some grass. I was able to get some quick photos and a little bit of video, but it was pretty cool. He said it seemed to just kind of, once he saw us the second time, he just kind of looked at us for a second and kind of meandered on, and we decided to give them some space and kept moving. But we did not expect to see a caribou on this trip at all. It kind of sounded like there's an odd sighting of a caribou, but not often. So I think we were pretty fortunate. Super cool. Probably a highlight of the trip right there. We made it to the exit point on Carroll Lake, so we're leaving Carroll behind us. There's a little creek on the map that we're gonna follow up. And then we've got a portage to get into Craven Lake. We're not seeing a great entrance to this creek, so it could get interesting. Working our way through this creek. We just finished our first portage of the day around that little drop over there. It wasn't one, it doesn't look like it's one that was marked on the map, so we might have two going up this creek. This got really pretty. We're working our way up the creek from Carroll. We're doing a little bit upstream paddling, but nice and rocky and cool in here. Paddle it or portage it? Paddle it. It might be shallow. Yeah, we got it. So we just paddled those two little swifts right there, and we had the map marked as a portage around them. I could see how you would have to portage around them in higher water, but we were able to get right up them, so we just made it onto Craven Lake. Came up on a burn area. Not sure how recently it was burned, but there's not a lot of new growth or vegetation, so probably pretty recent. Where you get to fight through the lily pads. We think we found the portage, but we're gonna scout it out a little bit first. Some pitcher plants here. Found this little box here. Not entirely sure what it is, but we really think we're supposed to be over there, which is on the map is like such a small distance, but it doesn't make sense for the portage to go through this bog with there being, you know, a good rock face over there and some rock over there to traverse on over rather than right through the swamp. So the map I was marking it on didn't actually have this swamp marked, but the adventure map does. So we're gonna go off the adventure map and head that way and try to find the portage landing. Yeah, here's the start. This is a 1,500 meter portage.
Is it?
Yep.
Where's the trail?
It looks like it just goes up.
Yeah.
We are leaving Craven Lake behind us. We're moving on to Ford Lake. We're having to portage through a burn area. Thankfully someone has come in before us and done some flagging work. Makes it easier to know where we need to go but it doesn't make it easier to get there. Traveling through the burn area is pretty tough. It's hot. There's still a lot of downed trees in the way. Footing isn't great, but we're working our way there. This portage feels a lot longer than 1,500 meters. Probably because it's a burn area. We've had the beating sun down on us the entire time. But we just made it to the end with the boat and our main gear pack. So we are nearly there. You can see the lake right over there. We made it to the start of our last portage for the day. It is 2,100 meters, so it's gonna be a long one. Take us several hours, but once we get that done, then we're on Artery and we can pick out a campsite and go to bed. So that's the plan. Well, we just finished the 2,100 meter portage from Ford into Artery, and I didn't film a whole lot of it because it was pretty brutal. There was a lot of up and down, a lot of bogs, through a burn area, so it was really hot, and so we're both pretty beat at this point, but we made it to Artery, and so we're gonna paddle up and pretty much grab the first campsite we can find, and we'll call it a night. We found home for the night. It's not a great home. We were unable to get out of this burn area, but we did find a little spot that we're going to be able to pitch a tent that doesn't have any upright trees in it. So that'll mean a little less risk of any sort of trees falling on us, but we're going to get unloaded and get some dinner. How's dinner?
It's really good.
We had a long day with lots of hard portages. We're still figuring out the conversions on how many miles they were, but they were measured in meters, but also the portages have been messed up because of fires, so we think they may have been extended or made longer to kind of get around some of that based off what we saw. So I'll be interested to figure out later by looking at GPS data where we actually went, but for right now we just know it was a couple of long portages, several hours each, with double portaging. We have no more portages over like 400 meters from what I've seen on the maps, and a lot of paddling, and we start hitting the rapids tomorrow, so that'll be fun. So we're gonna crash hard and hopefully have a good day again tomorrow. So it's 9 o'clock right now. This is our third day that we're gonna be on the water the entire day, and so we're gonna be hitting our first whitewater today. So I'm working on getting the boat outfitted with some float bags and lining ropes. We got the boat set up with the float bags. We're gonna start working our way up Artery and head towards the pictograph locations. Look, I see some unburned forest ahead of us. Most of Artery was burnt during a couple forest fires, but we've made it up to the north side where there's a little bit more greenery. There's still So we're working our way across Artery. Took a quick snack break for some granola bars. We're just kind of floating right now. We got a nice breeze going on. What?
Fog in my pocket.
So it's pretty warm today. Not sure of the temperature, but it's feeling pretty hot. And we were paddling by and saw this beach, so time to go for a swim.
Wearing your wet shirt, acting like you jumped in the water.
We did not get all the way on. I did wash my shirt a little bit in the water and walked in to wash off some of the bog from yesterday, but it's a little too cold to just outright swim. It's a nice little campsite, nice little beach, good place to rest. We made it to the falls on Artery. We can see the railway over there, so it's in the middle of the falls. We're gonna make our way over there and take a look. Sure wish all portages had these. We're gonna stop for some lunch on the roller portage.
If only the person that labeled these all were here to tell us what these are.
It's you. You're that person. We made it back into a ticket queue. We come up on our first real piece of moving water on this trip. This is a little class 2. So we're gonna take a look at where. We're gonna land and scout this. Well, I think I got that on camera. We're gonna run it. All right, we gotta go left quick. That was Moosebone Rapids. So I got up a little bit early this morning and did some fishing, had a successful catch. Caught us a walleye to go with breakfast. Got that filleted and cooked up, so Haley's getting out of the tent now. We'll be able to get some breakfast and get on our way. We didn't film a whole lot at the end of yesterday, but we ran a couple of rapids, kind of the first ones of the river. And today we're continuing down the river. Got a bunch more rapids that we're gonna run. We're gonna finish at hopefully the X Rock campsite tonight, which should be pretty cool. Just finished the portage around the top part of Stonehouse Rapids, so we've got a short pool and then we're gonna be over at the next set. So we're gonna start heading that way and probably get some lunch there. That was an unnamed rapid. Good fun. Probably, I think the last of the running water we're gonna be hitting today. We've got a couple of miles of flat water, one more portage, and then we'll be at X Rock tonight, which is where we're gonna stop.
We also found some nice mint up at the top of the rapids, and Blake did not want any, but it was a very pleasant experience just going down the rapid with a little mint leaf. So, no regrets there.
We're gonna be portaging through some more burn area. We believe this was the 2018 fire up here. Ooh. Thank you. We've been fighting a pretty stiff headwind all day. It's about 4 o'clock. We're getting pretty close to camp, but we're pretty exhausted from pushing this headwind all day long. It's been a good day with some rapids and seen some cool stuff, but it's gonna be nice to get out of the blistering wind for a little while. Not quite white caps, but almost there. So we've got one little class 1 to run through, and then once we dump out of the bottom of that, we'll be no, we're not going to dump. Once we get through the bottom of that class 1, we'll be in a pool right above the X Rock campsite. It's an island with two waterfalls, small waterfalls going around the sides of it, and that's where we're planning to camp tonight. So we're basically there. So we're in the X-Rock campsite, which is one of the more popular sites on the Bloodvein because it's on an island between two waterfalls. Dropping down to take a look. This is the left falls on X-Rock. I'm gonna walk down and take a look at the right side falls. Trying to find a trail down there. The island's pretty steep. Just kind of walking through some moss. Here's the trail. Woo. Got my Crocs on. Man, Crocs are the best. You just pop them on when you get to camp. You don't have to worry about them getting wet because they're just rubber. They don't need to dry out. And you just shake them off. All right, I think I followed the wrong trail here because the falls is up there and I'm down here and there's no more trails. So I'm gonna just work my way down here. Woo! I'm looking for the X-Rock. I think it's somewhere near the top of the right falls from what my memory says. Hey, look at that. That's the X-Rock. I'm gonna try and do some fishing here below the falls. I'm gonna try this little jig head, see if that gets me anything. Wouldn't you believe it? First cast, should have left the GoPro on. Nice little walleye. Look at that guy. Oh, got one. Pretty successful fish. Caught a couple of walleye. None that were quite big enough to keep for dinner. Now I said I'm gonna make a couple more casts, and then a pike took my jig right next to the shore, just snatched it up, bit my line, and ran away with it. So I'm gonna call it quits at that and go make some dinner. It is a near perfect morning here. It was a little chilly this morning, but it's starting to warm up as the sun's kind of coming over the ridge. It's absolutely beautiful this morning.
Blake is doing the Lord's work this morning, taking the canoe down these super slippery, wet rocks and making it look very easy. Go Blake!
That was a fun little portage landing. Right off of our campsite. Got a lot of turbid water. We've got our first portage of the day around a set of class 5 rapids. Beautiful morning. Haley's scoping out the portage right now and make sure we're at the right landing. She looks puzzled. We're probably at the wrong landing. you can help me navigate this rapid. This is a baby one. All right, I kind of eyed this one already, and I'm pretty sure we can make a straightish shot down the center. Just keep an eye out for any rocks. You see what I'm talking about though? Just a curling, you know, we've got a V right there. Yeah, right here. Yeah, we're good. There's like 3 class 2s right here. Can you see anything? You ready? We're just gonna go straight down. We're gonna go to the right of this rock, the big one. We need to come left though, yeah, you're on it. I'm gonna stand up. Okay, there's the big hump. See it? Yep.
Lunch?
Sure. Those are the Gooseneck Falls we just ran. Now we're looking for a lunch spot. Haley suggested right there. Shall we?
We shall.
Cool, let's do it. We've had this beef jerky in our bag for a long time.
Like,
and
I've been carrying it for days.
Haley's really excited to get the beef jerky.
There's also M&Ms and dried mangoes, which are
This is a good lunch.
also very exciting.
Some Hudson Bay bread or portage bar.
Yes, but the beef jerky.
This is a good lunch. We just ran around the bend. Good little class 2. We got a little wetter than we wanted, took on quite a bit of water. So we had a little bailing party at the end, which happens. It was big and splashy, a lot of waves. So now we're gonna keep on trucking. There's a rope to help you out up this wonderful landing.
That's so thoughtful.
Quick story time. So we're portaging around the lower portion of Crater Rapids, which is too big for us. But the other portion is a class 3. that we ran, loaded, and I set up my camera to take some pictures too, and we got some good pictures. The only problem is we were a little far right of our ideal line, and so we took on a bunch of water. And like looking at the pictures, you're like, yeah, you can tell we're a little far right of where we want to be. So let's just unload the boat and go run it again. So we went to go run it again, set up the camera and everything, and we ran it again empty, and we were even further right of where we wanted to be. We swam, pulled off a little bit, got the boat out, recovered. So yeah, we thought, we'll do it again. We'll do it better this time. And we did it worse. This is the main chunk of Crater Rapids. We haven't been moving very fast over the past hour or so after lunch. We've been kind of playing around in some rapids and portaging, and but now we've got a long stretch of flat water, so we're going to be able to put some miles on here and get into camp. We've only got one class 1 in between us and camp, and so we should be pretty good to just keep it moving. There's a little bit of a current here where the river gets narrow, and a little bit more than what we were expecting, so we're probably going to make some good time. Haley's letting her hair dry out after our swim. So I kind of lost track of where we were on the map for the moment. There's not really any wrong turns we can make on the river, and there's nothing super scary coming up. But I just kind of figured out where we're at, and we are flying. I'm not sure we realized how much this current was affecting us. It's very subtle, but we are clipping along. So we're gonna get to camp way earlier than we thought, which is pretty exciting. I want to share some images of why it's called the Bloodvein. You can really see, the veins in the rocks. That quartz vein. I think we're like 15 minutes from camp. Haley doesn't seem to believe me, even though she doesn't have a map.
Stop and mess around every 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. So much water.
But we're also moving at Mach 5 right now because of this current.
Gotta ride the wave.
This looks like a big class 1. This is the mouse that roared. We gave a little love tap to a rock.
Yeah.
Otherwise, not too bad. We made it to the Red Rock Cafe for tonight, and man, it's a nice campsite. Look at those rock walls. A little bit of rapids right in front. Good place to rest for the night. Yeah, nice sunny rock. Yeah, nap time.
So this campsite at the Red Rock Cafe comes equipped with a nice little hot tub. Blake is being a hater and says that it looks gross, even though it's probably the exact same water that we just swam in involuntarily. Shame.
We got settled into the Red Rock Cafe. It's a pretty nice campsite. Nice cliffs on the other side. Haley just sat down to read a book. We've had some sun, so we've been able to dry off some stuff. We've got dinner cooking right now. Tent set up. Looks like it's gonna be a nice evening. All right, we're getting packed up here at the Red Rock Cafe. Getting ready to take off. We got about 12 miles to cover today to go to Shangri-La. We are currently here at the Red Rock Cafe. We'll paddle along. I think we're gonna go on the north side of this island here and then finish there for the night. Okay, hold up. Yeah, I like this line. Beautiful fog. It's a nice morning. We made it up to the Stagger Inn. It's an old trapper's cabin on the river. Can't see this one super well, so let's back up here a little bit. Once we hit this first, we need to power to the right.
Okay.
You seem skeptical.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot to make happen really fast, but
We got it. All right, and power. Power. And left, left. All right, that's good where we're at. Power. That was Zigzag Rapids. That one was pretty fun. We just had a good stop for lunch. Beef jerky, peanut butter, and Nutella tortillas. And we had a nice view of the swamp we just paddled through, so. But now we're kind of getting back into the trees, so we're gonna peel out here and run this little swift and move on down the river. We're gonna go left of this rock and then immediately to the right. Now power forward. All right, now we gotta cut back to the left. and power. This is Shangri-La. I cannot get enough of this view. Shangri-La campsite. Oh man, look at that. This is all ours, all to ourselves tonight. We had the hammock out earlier. Just beautiful. All right, well, I'm gonna hit the sack and we'll be back on the water tomorrow. We don't know how far we're going tomorrow yet. Somewhere around 10-ish miles. So we're just gonna figure it out as we go. We are up and moving this morning. We're gonna try and cover about 15 miles today to get to Chap Falls campsite. It's supposed to be pretty nice. Today we've just got 2 Class 2 rapids, 1 portage around a Class 4, Okasiji Falls. Probably getting that wrong. And then a lot of lake travel. I regret my decisions. It looks like there used to be a trail here. Fighting a pretty big headwind today, but the river is it's got some zigzags in it, so right now we're kind of getting some rest from the wind. We'll have a quick little Class 1 and then we get to turn back into the wind. But It's pretty brutal today. Lots of white caps, almost coming over the gunnel, but we're holding. We've almost made it to camp. We're gonna camp at Chap Falls tonight. That line a lot. We made it to Chap Falls around 3 o'clock this afternoon. We've kind of just been hanging out since. I did a little bit of fishing, wasn't able to catch anything. We both took a nap. It's been really windy, and so kind of hiding away in the tent has been the easiest way to kind of hide from the wind, so we just took a nap in the tent. Chap Falls is awesome. Been doing some fishing this morning. Had a little bit of luck catching some small walleye. So I'm gonna keep trying for a little bit, but I've been fishing with this little Rapala. Been doing pretty good. So I'm gonna keep using it, see if we can pull in something a little bigger. Go right. Just ran Turtle Rapids and it went pretty well. We hit our line right on, but we found some rocks in the middle of our line, just kind of stopped the boat pretty quickly. So pretty fun rapid other than hitting rocks on the way down. So just ran an unnamed rapid. It was probably class 1-2. It was not on Hap's map that we could find. I may have missed it when I was marking maps, but I did write down for that area that it's just a swift, but definitely not just a swift. So I don't know. I'm like 99% sure of where we are on the map. Like all the topography and the land features and everything line up with where we are on the map. And on the map, there's actually a little bar, which on the Canadian topos indicates a rapid, but I've just got it marked as a swift. So I'll be interested to see if that's a Hap mistake or a me mistake. But well, that was pretty cool. made it into a campsite. We are camped right about there. I paddled upstream a little bit to this last rapid that we ran. I'm gonna try and do some fishing. I actually did do a quick cast and got a small walleye on my first try, so that's a good sign. I'm gonna do some more and see if I can get us a little bit of shore lunch. I don't even know what this is. I'm gonna get him back in the water now. We started the day at Chap Falls. It's all starting to blend together. We started the day at Chap Falls, and I was able to do some fishing, caught a couple small fish. Then we went onward from there. We made it to kind of an unnamed rapid ahead of a canyon. We're right on top of rapid 56 right now. And so tomorrow we'll hit that canyon. I went ahead this evening, since we got into camp at like 2 o'clock, and went ahead and kind of climbed the canyon and scouted it. And it doesn't look bad at all. So we're gonna run that first thing in the morning. The last half of the river is just proving to be awesome. Just rapid after rapid after rapid. So it's a ton of fun. We got this beautiful campsite. We are getting loaded up here. We got a nice class 2 right off the gate through that little canyon there. It'll be a good day. Sun shining, a little bit of wind unfortunately, but we'll do all right. Sorry, that was my bad. Yeah, we went too far to the right. To the right. Woo! That was a little wild ride, eh? I think I hear more below it though, maybe. Okay. But it looks like we got a long run out. Yep, there's another drop, but it doesn't look too bad. You see the rock in the middle? If we go just to the left of it, we'll be okay. So, at the end of each big rapid comes a little bit of a bailing party. See if we can get down this one. Let's go down it.
Okay.
Let's go down a little bit. Let's get out of here. Back paddle. Sorry I let us go so far down that. The other side looks better. This one looked like a better exit on the bottom. Middle right. Left. All right, you ready? All right, go left. We'll ease our way through this one. All right, that's good. Pull us left a little bit. Big current. Now let's stay just to the right of this eddy line. Lots of boils, hang on. Lean to the right, lean to the right. Yep, just easy back. entered another burn area, and after a bunch of rapids that we ran, there's a long section that we ran today of a lot of rapids, and we got through those, and now it's kind of long and flat, and at least we got a tailwind, but big burn area, so we're gonna try and get through this to get to camp. We no clue how far that's gonna be, but we're gonna see if we can do it. It's about 4:30 right now, I think. My watch broke, so it's in my pocket. What? 4:48, I was off a little bit. So we're gonna see how far we can make it and see if we can make it out of the burn area, but kind of looking at this rock face down here.
Yeah.
The one behind us has, and there's kind of a campsite there, but there's a lot of trees on it.
Yeah.
So we started this morning with some pretty good rapids, pretty big class 3. That was a ton of fun, and then we actually ran a lot of rapids today. We ran some down into a pretty big canyon, which was pretty cool. And then we got to see a moose swimming across a lake today. I was able to get some footage of that, and then we also saw a bear. I was not able to get any footage of it. It was a ways away, but we saw a moose and a black bear today, which is pretty cool. We paddled pretty far today. We did 17 miles, plus all the rapids we ran and scouted. So we were on the water for a long time. I think we got into camp somewhere around 5:15-ish. And we are camped in a burn area, which I'm not super stoked on, but we did find a nice spot without any widowmaker trees ready to take us out. So that's good. And yeah, we're getting ready for bed. Just had some popcorn and mac and cheese for dinner. That's pretty much it for today. We're gonna pack up and call it a night, and we've got about 25 miles left to go to the bridge. So we don't have super far to go tomorrow, and then we'll have a little bit left for that last day. So yeah, we're almost done.
Probably a dead mosquito.
There we go. We're up and moving this morning in our little burn area campsite. We just had some nice bannock and spam for breakfast. So gotta do some dishes here, finish packing up. We've got about 16 miles to go to Neme Falls, and that's where we're planning on camping the night. So we're gonna get to it. And we're off. We're a little off center, but Haley just fixed it. So looks like we've mostly got, we're camped on like this little peninsula right here. And we've got a couple of portages, and Haley's complaining about spiders in the boat.
How could you have let this happen?
Kill them.
I can't learn.
You've got a little swift here, and following that is a class 4 that we're probably gonna portage. Let's go a little left here. All right, we got our portage done. Got some miles under our belt.
We're on this island?
Yeah. This is the last of the 2 portages we have today. We have this one, and then we're going around Neme Falls.
catch of the day.
The wind on this trip is slowly driving me mad. We've had wonderful weather, except we've had wind pretty much every day. And some nights we've had wind. Last night we had some wind, and it was gentle, but it was just enough to keep smacking like all sorts of grass and stuff into our tent, which kept waking both of us up. And I tried my best to like trample it down and like break off limbs and stuff, but it felt like every time I took care of one problem, another one popped up. And I wasn't able or willing to go in the middle of the night and just like, you know, take out a bunch of trees and bushes and stuff nearby our tent. But the wind just kept flapping our rain flag and hitting stuff into it and kept us up pretty much a good chunk of the night. But then also it's just been like persistent, not super strong. We really only had headwind one day that was super strong, but it's been really persistent. Yeah, it's starting to wear me down. Hey, look, there's a bald eagle.
Yeah, that's what I was pointing at.
Had a pretty good lunch at Neme Falls, and now we're moving on, pushing towards camp. We don't have too far to go. There is a little island in the river splits and then comes back together, so we're going to take the southern channel. It looks a little bit shorter, less class, there's no class 1s or class 2s on it, it's just swift as compared to the northern route, which has class 1s and 2s, but it's a little bit quicker. So we're gonna take that, considering it's gonna be a little bit of a longer day. We made it out of the burn area. Haley just kind of realized it. I don't know when we made it out, but we were in the burn area for most of today. I would say we were still in the burn area for lunch. Yeah, we were still in the burn area for lunch, so most of the day. So, but it's nice to not be in the burn area again because it's less hot and less wind. A lot of good reasons to not be in a burn area. We have some regrets about taking the southern channel because while the northern channel is marked with class 1s and class 2s, this one's just class with swifts. That's not, so yeah, we're gonna have to portage instead of running rapids, but that's okay. So we're gonna do it. So at last, our second swift on this route is not a swift and will indeed be a second portage. But the good news is once we get through that, we've got about a kilometer until where we're supposed to camp tonight. So we're almost done for the day. And check my watch. It's 3:04, so we're doing pretty good. There's the broken watch. Just able to get over that little bump in the road, short little portage, and now we've got, looks like less than a kilometer to Neme Rapids, which is around where we're planning on staying for the night. So we're almost there. But Well, looks like we get a third portage on this little channel, so one
That keeps giving.
yeah, one more, and I've already gone up over those rocks, and I can see the confluence with the other channel, so we just got to get past this boulder field. Hopefully our ankles will hold up through this, because these kinds of rocks kind of suck to walk through, but it is what it is, so we'll keep going. We thought this was going to be the shorter route. Boy, were we wrong.
Almost there. Getting close. Good job. You're doing so good. We're about to hit a rock.
Are we going to make it?
I didn't know. If we stay to the right, you gotta swing your end to the right.
I think we're clear.
Blake, you did it!
We are out of that little side channel. Do not want to be a part of that anymore.
Look at those little clusters of ferns. Adorable. And the wasp nest. Wonderful feature. This is so gorgeous in here. Alright, we got to Neme Rapids. We've got a succession of 3 little rapids. I believe it's a class 2 and then 2 class 1s. We've got our route picked out. We've looked for our lines. And we are planning on camping right off to the edge of the last rapid. So it should be a pretty good way to end the day.
Don't swap us out yet, baby. We're almost there. All right, let's kind of peel out to the right here. This is an absolutely wonderful campsite. It's marked on the map as a rock beach. It's a fair assessment of it. It's just like walking on a beach, but without the sand, which is kind of nice. We're gonna be up early in the morning, 6 o'clock, to make our way to the bridge where we're gonna get picked up. So we'll be on it tomorrow morning early. So we were up early this morning around 6 o'clock, trying to get out of here by 7-ish, which we're right on time for that. So we're gonna get out of here and crank out some miles to our finish line at the bridge. Oh, it's a beautiful morning. GoPro get it. Hurts my eyes. All right, I see the hole. I see our line. Do you?
Our line is further to the right.
Yep. I think we're right on it. You feel good?
As long as we stay right, I feel good.
All right, sweet. Sick. Smooth like butter.
That was perfect.
That was a fun little rapid this morning. Well, little. The line we took was little. There were some big holes on it that we were steering clear of. That was Lagoon Run. That was a fun little class too. Now we got a long stretch of flat water. Okay, keep eyes up for rocks through here. Cut. Yeah.
That was very nice.
So we just ran our last set of class 2 rapids, made it around the corner, and we found the bridge, which is going to be our pickup point. So this is more or less trip over. It's been a good one. So we're gonna paddle towards the bridge and start unloading and check in and see if our ride's there, if we're gonna wait for a little while longer. It feels kind of surreal that it's over.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to just like turn the corner and the bridge was there. Ooh, nice rebar down here. Sketchy. Blake. Blake, it's literally breaking.
It's been sprinkled though. Kind of weird finishing at a bridge in the middle of nowhere. Shuttle driver isn't here yet, so it's just us. It's kind of weird, you know. It's a gravel road, so it's pretty desolate. It's just us kind of hanging out at the bridge.